Hi, I'm Fletcher Rhoden, and my pet peeve for today is beards and hairstyles. Well, Pet Peeves is brought to you today and every day by my website, FletcherRhoden.com. That's where you can find links to my author's page at Amazon.com. There you can buy my books in paperback format or Kindle or audiobook format in some cases. There's also a link to my Spotify artist page. That's where you can download my records. I got a lot of them. In 2024, I had a 4-album set called Quadrilogy. And this year, 2025, I have a brand new pop album called I'm Possible. So check those out. Now you can download those not only from Spotify, but from wherever you like to download your favorite music. But from my website, there's free music that you can get only there. So check it out. Okay, today's pet peeve. Beards. And also hairstyles, but mostly beards. But having a beard is a hairstyle, isn't it? It's just this hair, not this hair. So, beards. Now, it's not a fetishistic thing, because I'm a heterosexual man. I'm not sure what the designation is, but just like a guy who likes gals. So men don't have any particular fascination for me. Like for example, I like redheads, but that's a woman thing. I think men who are redheads should probably all be exterminated because they're soulless devils. But women who have red hair are gorgeous angels. Maybe I'm wrong. If I am, let me know. But you know, I do live in the world, and men live in the world too. So I have to look at them. They look at me. You interact with people of a variety of shapes and sizes and colors and genders. And I don't take note of men very often. Because most people, their appearance doesn't matter to me. There are a few things that bother me. I don't like droopy drawers. Pull up your pants. For Christ's sake. Whatever build you have, there's a belt that'll fit you. Get one of them. But setting that aside, beards and hairstyles on men are something I find peevish. It's a pet peeve. Now, just to be clear, again, with women it's different. If a woman has a cute hairdo, that's cute. If it's a bob, or if it's long wavy, or if it's tight curls, or if it's whatever it is, I get that. Women, I think, have a little bit more leeway in society to be ornamental than men do, because we encourage that. Society encourages it. In fact, with all the advertising and all the cosmetic products and hair products and fashion, the whole fashion industry, all of this is geared mostly towards women, and men encourage it, and men like it, and women dig it too, and it's different for women because there are cultural, I'm talking about the United States, but this is true also in most Western countries, such as European countries, the Western ones, and Latin America too, and all over, that a lot of cultures value ornamentation in their women. I'm not going to argue about it, it's just the way it is. But we're talking about men, because few enough women have beards. Some, but few enough. Not few enough, actually, but very few. Men have beards. Now, I don't care how a man looks, basically. I don't. But it bothers me to see a guy wearing a beard. And here's why. I think, first of all, that's ornamental. Why are you wearing a hairdo on your face? I don't get it. Are you cold? Are you poor? Why are you wearing a beard? Are you hiding? Are you depressed? There are reasons people grow beards. They can't afford a razor. They're in hiding. They're sad. You know, we've all had a depression beard at one time. That's a special kind of beard you grow when you just want to block out the world. It's a depression beard. But you don't keep it forever. It's It's more ornamental than anything else. Let's face it. It's not. Are you living in Alaska and it's cold and you need it to insulate your skin? That's a good reason to grow a beard. If you're just doing it, mostly, the way most men grow beards is just for their look. It's purely ornamental. It's purely cosmetic. It says, this is who I am. And to me it says who you are is a person who's hiding their face. Why are you hiding your face? Show me your face. Why do you wear a mask? Why do you wear a wig over your face? Why do you have a hat on your mouth? Now, I'm not talking about a mask for COVID. That's cool. It got kind of weird when I'd go into banks and see everyone wearing these masks. And my first thought was, when I was young, if a guy walked into a bank wearing a mask, that would be a problem. But for a while there, it was a problem if you weren't wearing a mask. So I'm not talking about that kind of mask. I'm talking about a disguise, a Halloween mask on your face. Now, a lot of people, they associate their persona with their appearance. I clearly do not. I keep my hair short. I don't wear facial hair. I wear clothes that are comfortable and sometimes colorful. This particular shirt I like for this show, if you can't tell, it's a giant meteor headed toward the Earth. So it's kind of ironical and kind of cynical and kind of funny. But it doesn't matter to me if I wear this shirt or not. If this shirt got burned up in a fire, I couldn't care less. I'd wear another shirt. If I had to shave off my hair, which I just did recently, I'd let it grow back. I do that 4 times a year. Anybody who's that reliant upon their costumage is troublesome to me. I'll tell you a little story. I was living as a lodger in a person's house for many years in Woodland Hills. And I would take a walk every day for about an hour. And walking along Burbank Boulevard, it was in Woodland Hills, very West Valley. So this person lived on Burbank Boulevard, and I would often walk along Burbank between like Fallbrook and Valley Circle Boulevard, which was the end of Burbank Boulevard. It's where Burbank Boulevard ended. So this was residential. There was a high school. There were lots of houses. It was strictly residential on this block. Up a couple blocks was Ventura Boulevard, where there were shops and stores and restaurants and things like that. But on Burbank, it was just people and their homes and a high school. And I think there was an elementary school that was defunct or something. So often on my walk, and I would just wear a t-shirt and shorts. Or if it was cool, I'd wear jeans and a jacket. Or a hoodie. Just basic stuff. And as I was walking up and down Burbank Boulevard, I would often see another pedestrian fellow who enjoyed his daily constitutional, as I did mine. But this guy dressed up as a beefeater. You know what a beefeater is? You probably know beefeater vodka. Or is it gin? I think it's beefeater gin. It's gin, I think. And it has this picture of a guy in Scottish kilts and like a vest and like sort of a top hat and a walking stick. And he's walking, he's strutting in this old-timey Scottish beefeater uniform. Because the character isn't called Beefeater. The gin is named after this job. It was, I believe, like a Royal Scottish Guard. They were called the Beefeaters, I guess. I don't know, I'm not really sure. But this guy used to walk dressed like that and walk up and down Burbank Boulevard around 10:30 in the morning. And he had the top hat and the walking stick and the kilt and the knee-high white socks and the black shiny shoes, I think, with tassels maybe, and like all ornamental with the beard, the red beard and the hat and everything. And he walked up and down Burbank Boulevard. Now this was a man for whom appearance meant everything, or he would not have dressed that way. For me, appearance meant very little, which is why I dressed the way I did, in a utilitarian fashion. He dressed to impress. He dressed because his image, his persona, his sense of self was somehow so tightly intertwined with his appearance that he had to appear in this outlandish manner. Which is, all right, I get it. I don't like it. To me, it speaks of insecurity and superficiality. And I see a person like that, and I'm like, ugh, that's not a person, that's a costume. It's not a human being, it's a character. It's a mannequin with a costume on it. It's not a person. That's what I think. I might be wrong. I know these are people. I know that Beefeater guy on Burbank Boulevard is a person, or was. I don't know if he's still alive, but he was a person. He went home, he had a name, he had parents, he had friends, he had other things in his life. The only part of it I ever saw was him dressing like a beefeater, walking up and down Burbank Boulevard, where there were only residential houses and a high school. And he wasn't trying to attract high school girls. The weird thing about it is that he didn't walk up to Ventura Boulevard and parade up and down Ventura Boulevard in front of the shops and the restaurants and the people and the cars who could have seen him. Burbank Boulevard was basically abandoned. It was deserted. Where 2 blocks to the south, there was Ventura Boulevard, chock-a-block full of possible spectators. And the guy obviously was dressed to be seen. He wasn't dressed to feel comfortable. He wanted to be seen in his beefeater regalia. But then he walked down an empty street when he was 2 blocks away from the most crowded street in the valley. The most densely populated street in that part of the San Fernando Valley is definitely Ventura Boulevard. And he was this close, but he didn't go. He paraded up and down an empty street, doing a performance for an audience that did not exist. And it struck me as mind-numbing why this guy would do that. Does he go home and stay in his beefeater costume at home? And just dress that way all day, every day at home? Sit and watch Price is Right in his kilt? Can't be. Too much emphasis on appearance. And when it comes to beards, man, a man who's got a beard is either presenting something that isn't true or hiding from something that is true. Now, I knew another story about a guy, bearded man, younger man, college years, somewhere in the college years. So I was at a party where all the girls, beautiful college years girls, were around him. He was surrounded by these gorgeous girls. They were like, oh, we love you. You're so handsome. You're so young. I was neither one of those things. But your beard is a little scraggly. It's got some loose ends. We'd like to tighten it up. Won't you just let us trim the beard a little bit? We're not going to cut it off. We're not going to reduce it. We're just going to even out the surface of it so that it's nice and smooth and we can stroke your face while we're trying to get you to have sex on us. So won't you let us do that? And the guy said, okay. So they very lightly just cleaned it up a little bit. Cleaned up the edges. And then afterward, they were all around him. Oh, you're so handsome. Oh, your beard looks so manly and rugged and macho and so well trimmed. And this guy was apoplectic. He was sobbing. I can't believe I let you do that. Like they had given him another circumcision. You know? And now they were stroking his bleeding member. In that instance, I wouldn't mind him saying, ladies, please don't touch me because I'm bleeding from my penis. But in this case, no blood, no penis. They were all around him praising him for his handsomeness. And this guy was bawling his eyes out because they touched the beard, because they reduced it just fractionally. That was ridiculous. And let me say, when I see a guy with a beard, I can't help but think of that guy. The guy who failed to notice the adoration of 6 gorgeous college girls because he was so fixated on the hairs that were removed from his beard, the scraps of which were so infinitesimal that I venture to say that they could not even be collected on a piece of paper, and if they were ever collected, they would not even weigh anything. And this guy threw away his true manhood which is to know that it's the man inside that counts, not your appearance, not your stupid beard. If someone had said, oops, bzz, and cut a trench into his beard, and I was like, well, now we got to cut it all off, or change it so it's just sideburns and a goatee, the guy would have probably killed everyone in the house over a beard. See, that's what I don't like about beards, because it tells you that the person who's wearing them has their priorities off. They're more about their appearance than their person. That's a type of narcissism. A person who wears a beard is likely to be a narcissist. All the narcissists I've ever known have been very concerned about their appearance. It's either a beard, or it's dyeing the hair, or it's some other thing that's not from the inside. It's on the outside. And that's what a beard is. Hairstyles too. For a man, long hair to me is ugly. It's fine. Like a woman, my mother taught me that a woman should not have long hair after a certain time in her life. An older woman with long hair has a witchy appearance, and it's more sophisticated to have for a woman of a certain age to have shorter hair. And I agree with that. And with men, I think the same thing is true. The age for a woman, I think, is probably somewhere in her 40s. The age for a man is somewhere around 10 years old. If you've got a kid, a boy with long hair who's past 10, why are you raising him with that long hair? Why? Is he Samson? Is that where his strength comes from? You know, they have a complex, the Samson complex, where people think that their strength is in their image, in their appearance. And if you alter their image, you reduce them. You reduce their personage. And that's foolish. Here's a guy who could have had an orgy with 6 gorgeous college students, and he was too busy crying over a few spider legs on the side of his face. Stupid. You didn't get my sympathy. Not at all. And you know what? If they bust into your house and shave off your hair and shave off your face, your facial hair, they leave your face, and they say, now live with it. And also, we're taking away your fancy clothes, and we're giving you cotton clothes. Here's wool clothes for winter, cotton clothes for summer. Deal with it. Some people would go out of their minds, and they couldn't function. There are women who would not be able to function under those circumstances. There are men. Women I understand, kind of, because they're programmed differently in society. But men have become so cosmological, so cosmetic. Cosmetological? Anyway, it's out of whack. It's out of whack. Get over it. Don't be Samson. Cut your hair. Cut your beard. Show your face. Be like Cyrano and wear your adornments only upon your soul. If you want to learn more about that, you can check out my other show, Quotes and Quips. It's here every other Monday, right at this YouTube channel, premiering Mondays at noon Mountain Central Time. This show, Pet Peeves, is on alternating Mondays on this YouTube channel, also Mondays at noon Mountain Central. So every other week you can see one show or the other. Keep tuning in. In the meantime, you can see reruns of 2025 run. You can also see reruns of the 2024 run of Quotes and Quips. All 26 episodes are still up. And I had a show in 2023 called Tracking the Lone Wolf. And that's on its own channel called Tracking the Lone Wolf here on YouTube. Those reruns are still up and they will always be. So you can enjoy that, enjoy the reruns of this show and of the other show, and check out my new album, I'm Possible. You can download that anywhere you like to download your favorite music. Read my books, watch more of my content, and tune in again. Until then, bye, Mary.